everybody, and welcome back to another Russian Lit reading vlog. Today we have a bit of a different reading vlog. We don't have one Russian book, we don't have two Russian books, we have three Russian books that I will be reading. I have already read, so I am filming this after having read all three books. So the books that I have read and this reading vlog is dedicated to are Ward 6 by Anton Chekhov. This is selected stories of Anton Chekhov translated by Richard Pavir and Larissa Volokonsky, but I just read Ward 6. And then, oh, actually that's the second book that I read. The first book that I read was First Love by Ivan Turgenev, and I can't wait to talk about this book a bit more. This is the book that I filmed the most vlog footage for Ward 6, and the next book I didn't film a lot for, so I thought I would just combine them into one reading vlog instead of doing three separate and not having much footage to show you guys. Then the last book is White Nights by Dostoyevsky. This has become one of my favorite Dostoyevskys. I have only read three now. This is fighting for top place. It is fighting against Notes from Underground, which will have its own reading vlog just discussing Notes from Underground because I do have a lot to say about this book. But White Nights I also have a lot to say as well, just not a lot of vlog footage, so it is going to be going into this reading vlog. So anyway, we are going to be going back in time to Carolyn before she read First Love by Turgenev, and we will watch me read this book, and I will discuss my final thoughts when you're done watching that. Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another CarolinaMaryaReads Russian literature reading vlog. I just finished Yevgeny Onegin yesterday, and it has become my favorite book of the year, rivaling with War and Peace. And today we are going to be starting First Love by Ivan Turgenev. I'm really excited because this is going to be my first Turgenev. I actually don't know too much about this book, but on the back it says, "I had ceased to be simply a young boy. I was someone in love. My suffering began that day too." And that just sounds so Russian. I love it. I don't want to read too much into the back because it is pretty short and I don't want to be spoiled, but this translation is by Isaiah Berlin with an introduction by V.S. Pritchett. And I love this cover. I think it's so beautiful. This is the Penguin Classics, obviously. Love these. They always have great introductions and notes, and usually the translations are great. This book is pretty much 100 pages exactly, actually. And yeah, so without further ado, let's just get reading. Hello everyone, and happy Thursday. Today is July 22nd, and I haven't filmed an update yet for First Love, so I thought I would talk a little bit about it. I have only a few chapters left actually, and then I'm done. I currently am up to chapter 18, so the end of chapter 17 was a huge cliffhanger, but let me tell you a little bit about what the book is about before talking about how I feel and how everything is going. So we open up the story with this group of bachelors, these single men, and they're all talking about the times that they first fell in love, their first loves, and they're, talking about different experiences, whether it was special, whether it wasn't special, whether it was bizarre or strange, their first love story. And our main character, Vladimir, basically, they ask him to tell his first love story. So it says on the second page in, is it chapter 1? I think it might even be the preface. It says, "Vladimir Petrovich, won't you regale us with something?" "My first love was certainly not at all ordinary," replied Vladimir Petrovich, after a moment's hesitation. He was a man of about 40, with dark, slightly graying hair. "Ah," said the host and Sergei Nikolaevich, with one voice. "That's much better. Tell us the story." "Why, certainly. No, I'd rather not. I'm not good at telling stories. They come out either too bald and dry, or else much too long and quite unreal. But if you'll allow me, I will write down all I can remember, and then read it to you." At first they would not agree, but Vladimir Petrovich finally had his way. A fortnight later, they met again, and Vladimir Petrovich kept his word. This is what he had written down. And the whole book is Vladimir Petrovich telling us about his very not at all ordinary first love story. And it's really interesting and intriguing, and the characters are this one character, she's very manipulative and really an interesting, really interesting character. I don't want to say too much, but the characterization is incredible and really interesting. The descriptions are small, but when they're there, they're beautiful and very vivid. And for such a short story and for such a small space in time, it feels very complex and deep and full of meaning and full of symbolism, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful book. I'm really loving it. The end of chapter 17, I had a prediction from the start that it was going to be this certain thing, and at the end of chapter 17 I found out that I was right, and it was one of those moments where, also kind of like Yevgeny Onegin, I sort of predicted, not exactly, but I had a feeling of where it was going and I was right. And then same thing with this, and you get that cathartic feeling of, oh yes, like I knew what you were trying to do, I knew what you were going to set us up for, and it was just really validating and exciting to see your prediction come true. So yes, an incredible cliffhanger at the end of chapter 17. I can't wait to keep reading. I think something that I just want to point out is that Turgenev has a really great writing style in terms of its quickness. It's a very fluid story. I don't know if it's because Vladimir is telling us but through first person, and it just feels very like you're hearing someone's story, and it just feels the way that you would expect it to feel, like someone is telling you an experience of their life. And it's really quick and it's really exciting and intriguing, and I keep wanting to flip the pages and see what happens next. And that is making this book feel even shorter than it is. And I can't believe that I only have a few chapters left and then I'm going to be done. So yes, the characters are incredible. They are really interesting, really complex, kind of concerning. This one character, I'm just, every time I read about them, I'm just, that's concerning. So it's really exciting, loving it so much, and let's go finish it. Okay, and now we're back. I can't wait to talk about my final thoughts of First Love. I loved it, first loved it, and I want to read you guys what I wrote on my Goodreads review because I feel like it's the most concise way of telling you how I feel, and then I can go into a little more detail. So I started with a quote, and the quote says, "She had no great faith in him, and after listening to his outpourings, she would make him read Pushkin, as she said, to clear the air." Having read this book right after finishing Pushkin's Yevgeny Onegin, this quote couldn't be more perfect. I can't seem to stop thinking about this story. It has been a few days, and I keep wondering about the things that went unsaid, the subtle hints Turgenev gives throughout the story, and that ending. For such a short piece of writing, it didn't feel like it lacked a development or a plot. He captured a whole world in such a short amount of space and time. First Love was my first Turgenev, and I truly can't wait to read more from him. And that still stands true. I still can't stop thinking about this book and that ending. Oh my goodness. I saw it coming, like I said in the vlog, but it was still a shock, and it left me with so many questions. And I was talking about that in my Yevgeny Onegin vlog, that the best books don't answer your questions, they leave you with more questions, and the answers are in the questions in a sense as well. And this book was definitely that in in its purest form. Like it left me wondering, well, what about this and what about that and how did that happen? And I feel like that's the beauty of a lot of Russian literature, is the writers aren't looking to answer your questions. They're looking to ask the questions, and that's what I absolutely love. And no Russian book is like the ending is tied up in a little bow, except maybe War and Peace, I would say, is like one of the only Russian classics I've read that kind of ends in a more tied up into a nice little bow and sort of explained and ended peacefully, I guess. War and Peace, peacefully. Anyway, so I just really, really loved this book. The characters were so emotionally complex and really intriguing to read about. Very, very captivating and gripping, and I just kind of wanted to psychoanalyze all of them because they all had so much going on in their minds and the way that they acted. It was just a wonderful read, and I can't wait to read more Turgenev. I actually very kindly was sent Fathers and Sons in my P.O. box from a very sweet subscriber and Instagram friend. Their Instagram handle is Captain Wentwords, and it was just such a great surprise to get this, and I really can't wait to read Fathers and Sons. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this book, and I know that I would say that it is his most famous piece of writing. I know it's also called Fathers and Children. I think that's another title that they've given it as well, but this is translated by Peter Carson with an introduction by Rosamund Bartlett, who she has also done a translation of Anna Karenina. This one is translated by Isaiah Berlin with an introduction by V.S. Pritchett. So I love the Penguin Classics. They have such great introductory notes and then different notes on the text and notes on the translation, which is always really helpful being a non-Russian native speaker. That is what I have to say about First Love. I gave it five stars. I first loved it, and now I have a few clips to show you from when I was reading Word 6, so you guys can watch those clips and then I will come back and tell you what I thought of the book or the short story. Okay, only a few clips. I just filmed a little bit using my phone camera as I was reading because it is an incredibly short story, but man, did it pack a punch. Oh my god, I still, like First Love, can't stop thinking about this book. The themes that are discussed are just mind-blowing, and they're the kind of things that keep you up at night and you think, just how can the world work this way? How can people, how can human beings just feel that way and be that way? It's incredible. So I will also read you my Goodreads review because I feel like that's a nice way to concisely tell you what I thought. Because, you know, I tend to ramble. Okay, I have a nice and short and sweet Goodreads review for this one because this story is short and not sweet at all. And I said, I just keep thinking of the word devastating. That's what this story is, devastating. And it is entirely. It is set on, it's set in an annex in a hospital for the mentally ill, and that's why it's called Ward 6. It's set in this ward number 6, and it's about the people that inhabit the ward and one of the doctors and all the other people that are involved in the community. And I don't want to say too much because it's really such a short story and it's just one big slap in the face, and it's about it's about so much. I don't even know how to express it. Russian society, the view on mental health and mental illness. It's what makes a person insane, what makes a person go mad, what are the catalysts to make a person behave a certain way or go mad. What is madness? How can you define madness? And the cruelty of some human beings. And it's just, I don't even know how to talk about this story because it's so vast and it's so deep and heartfelt and hard-hitting, but it's so short, so I don't want to say too much. Maybe I will just share with you a few lines, or even the opening. The opening page was incredible and really just brings you right into the story. So it starts by saying, "In the hospital yard stands a small annex surrounded by a whole forest of burdock, nettles, and wild hemp. The roof is rusty, the chimney is half fallen down, the porch steps are rotten and overgrown with grass, and only a few traces of stucco remain. The front facade faces the hospital, the back looks onto a field, from which it is separated by the gray hospital fence topped with nails. These nails, turned points up, and the fence and the annex itself have that special, despondent and accused look that only our hospitals and prisons have. If you are not afraid of being stung by nettles, let us go down the narrow path that leads to the annex and see what is going on inside. Opening the first door, we go into the front hall, and then it continues on and it brings you right into the ward. Turgenev basically takes you by the hand and brings you into the annex, and I love how he addresses the reader by saying you and then we, because it just feels like he's pulling you into the story, pulling you into the setting, making it incredibly vivid and just basically come to life right in front of your eyes. And so I wrote in the margins, addressing the reader and taking them into the story / world / annex. And it's such a small way, but it's so effective to affect and address the reader and make what you're telling come to life in such a beautiful and heartfelt way, because you can tell a really powerful story, but the reader can feel disconnected. But in this case, you feel so connected. You feel like what is going on is not false, it's not fiction. It feels like you're there and you're reading a nonfiction account, and it's just heartbreaking. Some other quotes that I'll just share, little snippets. There's one that says, "There's nothing good in the world that does not have some filth in its origin." Just, oh God. And then another one we have, "Then too, why prevent people from dying if death is the normal and natural end of every man?" And then another one right underneath that, it says, "Pushkin suffered terribly before death." And I just love the references to other writers in Russian literature. It's just the best. We also have this one character, Andrei, goes home, sits down immediately at the desk in his study, and begins to read. He reads a lot, and always with great pleasure. Half of his salary goes on books, and of the 6 rooms of his apartment, 3 are heaped with books and old magazines. Each time the reading goes on uninterruptedly for several hours without tiring him. He does not read quickly and impulsively, as Ivan Dmitrovich used to, but slowly, sensitively, often lingering over places that please or puzzle him. I just love when books explain the pleasure of reading and explain the love of reading, because I feel like it's a little paradox or inception of like being a lover of literature and being a reader and then reading about other readers. It just feels like you're finding a bunch of kindred spirits, and I love it. So yes, this story, I cannot recommend it enough. This was my second Chekhov short story. The first one I read was a little Penguin Black Spine collection of Gooseberries, which is the title story, and then I think there were 2 other stories in that collection. Really liked them, but not as much as Word 6. Word 6 is definitely a great place to start. I really like this collection, love Pivir and Velikonski translations, so can't recommend enough. And then the next book that I will be talking about is White Nights by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. I can't wait to talk about this book. So watch a few clips that I filmed also on my phone, not very many, and then once you finish watching those, I will come back and tell you what I think and how I feel about White Nights. Okay, time to discuss. I don't even know what to say about this book. It is just brilliant, heartbreakingly brilliant. Genius. Fyodor Dostoyevsky, I am falling in love with you more and more the more I read. I first read Crime and Punishment by him, liked it, but I feel like some of it went over my head, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like I didn't read it at the right time, and when I go back and do a reread, I feel like I'm going to get much more out of it. And then the next book I read from him was Notes from Underground, which I can't wait to talk about, and I loved that so much. And then I read White Nights. It's so hard to pick between Notes from Underground and White Nights, which one I preferred. I feel like I preferred White Nights because I am an incredible lover of love stories, and this is like one of the most devastating love stories, whereas this is more of an existentialist novel, more psychological in that case. So yes, White Nights. Let me get my Goodreads review up for the same reason, so that I don't ramble too much. I think all I shared were quotes, so I will just read you the quotes that I shared. So I put silently weeping, and then I put a bunch of quotes. I am a dreamer. I have so little real life that I regard such moments as this one, now, to be so rare that I can't help repeating these moments in my dreams. I will dream of you all night, for an entire week, all year long. It's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And then I have another quote. He desires nothing, because he is above desire, because he has everything, because he is sated, because he himself is the artist of his life, and he creates it for himself every hour to suit his latest whim. Love that. And then another one. And what will there be for me to dream about when I have already been so happy in real life beside you? Okay, another one. Do you know that I now like to recall and visit at certain times places where I was once happy in my own way? I like to fashion my present so that it's in harmony with the irrevocable past. And I often wander, like a shadow without need or purpose, downcast and sad, through the alleys and streets of Petersburg. And what memories. I absolutely love that. It reminds me a bit of the sequel to Call Me By Your Name, which is titled Find Me, and one of the characters does these things, or two of the characters does these visits called vigils, and it's basically every time they go to a emotionally special place in Italy, they go to specific places to kind of pay homage, you know what I mean, to pay tribute to the past experiences and the past memories that they have had there, and that's called a vigil. And that's what it reminded me of, is you have those, when you visit a special place, you have to go to certain places that you've gone to in the past and to keep that tradition going, and it's just such a beautiful sentiment, and I thought that it was beautifully expressed. And then the last one I have is, you know, we thank some people for merely living at the same time as we do. I thank you for the fact that I met you, but I will remember you for all of my life. What? What? Are you kidding me? And then I said, not so silently weeping. It's just, This book is heartbreaking and devastating and beautifully written, and it expresses love so authentically, and it's dramatic and over-dramatic at some points, and it's about these two people that come together and feelings are involved, and then there's another person that also has a silent presence, but their presence is always there, and it's just beautiful to see how two people can come together and the feelings that are evoked when two people love each other, and where three people love each other in this case, because it's a slight love triangle, and it's just exquisitely done. Like Dostoyevsky, I just cannot thank you enough for writing this story. I adored it, absolutely adored it, and this is now a new favorite, and I wasn't expecting it. Like, I knew I would like it, but I didn't expect to love it so much. There is also a movie adaptation that's Italian, and as you guys know, I think I mentioned it a lot in my videos, but I am from Italian descent, and my mom always loved the movie version, so when I was telling her that there was a Russian book called White Nights, she's like, is that what the movie is based on? And I did some research, and it is. So I will tell you guys who directed it and when it was released. Oh, I think there are two versions. Oh, okay. I think this is the one that my mom was talking about. So this one from 1985 is called White Nights. I think it's a bit different. Okay, so there are two versions. I think there's an Italian version and then there's a dance drama version. So the one that I'm talking about right now has Mikhail Baryshnikov, which is a Russian ballet dancer that my mom is obsessed with, that I love too. I really love the ballet and the opera, and I've grown up with my mom loving it, so naturally I love it too, so I definitely want to watch this adaptation as well. Helen Mirren is apparently in it too. Yeah, so it came out in 1985. It was directed by Taylor Hackford. Okay, then the Italian White Nights is from 1957. It is a romance drama, and that came out, it says 1957, but then the release date, for the US was 1961, and that was directed by Luchino Visconti. La Notte Bianche being the Italian title for White Nights, and I definitely want to watch that, especially after falling in love with this book. If you love stories that make you cry and that break your heart, you will love this. If you like Dostoyevsky and you haven't read White Nights, can't recommend it enough. And I love these editions. It's part of the Penguin Little Black Classics, but it's one of the larger ones, and this is number 118. So, yes. So these are the 3 Russian books that I read recently. They're all relatively short, and they were all a wonderful, wonderful reading experience. They were all 5 stars. Can't go wrong with Russian literature. That is what I am learning. The more Russian literature I read, the more I fall in love with it, the more I give them 5 stars. It is just a wonderful way to take in literature and to take your time with books and read. So yes, a wonderful reading vlog. 3 5-star reads in one vlog. I don't know if I've ever had that happen before, and of course they're all Russian. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's not as full of vlog footage as much as I would like, but it's kind of half vlog, half book review, book discussion. Hope that's okay. And yes, I can't wait to keep reading. I think the next vlog that's going to go up is probably for Notes from Underground, if you were wondering which vlog is going to go up next. I am also almost done with Anna Karenina. Can't wait to keep discussing, and yes, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you are interested in Russian literature, then I can't recommend these 3 short stories enough, or novellas enough, and if you have any recommendations, I would love, absolutely love them. Let me know your thoughts on each writer and what you think, and anything you have to say about Russian literature. I love hearing from you guys and discussing. So I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day wherever you are in the world, day or night, and I will see you soon in another video. Happy reading!